And welcome back to the podcast. I'm so excited for today's episode because I have so many things that are top of mind that I just feel so called to share. These are things that have just, for some reason, have not been able to escape me. I cannot stop thinking about them, and these concepts and these tools and these practices are so good. So let's just jump right on into it. Today's episode is going to be all about manifestation and this concept of having opposing desires. But before we get into that, we are knee deep into Scorpio season. So how is everyone feeling? I know that this can be a very challenging season for some people. I mean, as I mentioned in the last podcast episode, every season has its ups and downs, its negatives and positives, but especially when it comes to the water sign seasons, they really force us to connect to our emotions. And for some of us, that's harder to do than others. And Scorpio likes to go deep and get into the depths of things and go into the dark waters and explore territories that maybe you have not been, putting a lot of energy and intention into. So this can be a trying time for a lot of people, and something that literally just came up for me 20 minutes ago, right before I went on a short little walk, was this idea of purging. And a bitch is purging right now. So many of my limiting beliefs are coming to the surface, and I'm having so much newfound awareness around every aspect of my life, especially around the things that I know are limiting me and the beliefs that I am holding on to that are holding me back. Practices, habits, routines, and I go through these seasons where I'm always aware, but it's hyper awareness. And my skin is purging like a motherfucker. My skin does not look good right now. So if you see me out in public, I mean, I feel some type of way when my skin is not doing what I need it to do, which is being perfect and beautiful and amazing, because who wants to have shitty skin? But I know that this is just a part of the process, and we have to remember that before it gets better, a lot of times it's really shitty and things are really, really hard. So in a deep, deep purging season, and I was thinking about my Mars placement in astrology, which is in Scorpio as well. And if you don't know where your Mars is, look up your astrological chart and see what sign your Mars placement is in. Mine so happens to be in the sign of Scorpio. So I know, well, first of all, what does Mars represent? Mars is the planet that rules drive. It rules how you assert yourself. It's passion. It's really how you go after things, whether that's, who you're going after, whether that's, a career that you're going after. It's really just how you predominantly assert yourself in the world. So we also have to take a look at, okay, what type of sign is this? Is it cardinal? Is it fixed? Is it a water sign? Is it an earth sign? Blah, blah, blah. So Scorpio, as we know, is a water sign. So for me, I'm okay, I know that I'm having so much awareness right now. And it's not the awareness where it's I don't even know if this is awareness. In Libra season, for instance, I was feeling so indecisive, and I just had this mental spiral of thoughts, and I could not make a decision. And I'm I am just getting so consumed and so lost in my thoughts. With Scorpio season, I'm I feel so in tune with my emotions and how I'm feeling, and just the awareness. Again, it's this sense of having hyper awareness. But when we are so aware, the next step is taking action. So for a lot of us, it's okay, I know that this is what I need to change. This is what I want to change, but now I want it to happen. And I want it to happen overnight. So many of us have, an interesting relationship when it comes to really acknowledging the importance of patience. So I was thinking today, okay, I have so many things that are at the top of my list that I'm working on, that I want to change, that I'm just so ready to wake up tomorrow morning and be I did it, I conquered it, and here I am in this new reality with this new practice and this new habit and this new way of thinking. But then I was Rebekah, you have to take a step back and just let yourself be in this awareness right now. Yes, you can still, move the needle forward and make moves, to, make something happen. But like, it just really doesn't work like that. We don't just wake up tomorrow morning and all of a sudden we have the cleanest diet, we have the best body, we have, our ideal mindset. Like, as we know, this stuff takes work and it's gradual work. So I just wanted to remind you of that because I had to remind myself of that. Like, it's exciting to know, okay, this is what I'm working on and this is what I want to change, and to have that awareness, because with the awareness comes clarity and answers, which is so much more exciting than sitting in the big question mark unknown land of like, what the fuck do I do? So it's really exciting and exhilarating to have these answers, but also giving myself grace and knowing like, okay, we can do a little bit, we can chip away every single day, but like, let's be realistic and let's be practical, and let's make sure that we are not putting ourselves in almost like this false reality, right? That we wake up in tomorrow and everything's going to be just the way that we want it. So I just wanted to mention that first before I get into this episode. So today we're talking all about manifestation and opposing desires. I feel like over the past century, oh my God, that makes me feel so fucking old. I'm like, a century? Jesus Christ. But like, I actually think it's been a century almost, because I'll be 30 next year. So doing personal development work for so long and reading so many books and listening to so many podcasts and, seeing speakers live and just like accumulating so much knowledge. Like, I'm just always so thirsty for the knowledge and for the information. And a part of me still feels like, what's the one thing that's going to work? But I really don't think that is even possible. I think everyone truly has their own recipe when it comes to truly accumulating long-lasting success and abundance and manifesting and being in your flow and joy and love and all these things, right? So I have taken so many pieces of knowledge into consideration over the years, and there has been a newer concept that has come to mind, or there's been a newer concept that I am now aware of because of newer systems that I'm studying. But let's kind of just like take it back and simplify it for everyone. Like, what is manifesting? To me, manifesting is, okay, we have a desire of something that we want, and where is that desire coming from? Like, who knows exactly where it's coming from, from the heart, from this, from that. But like, really, all of us are manifesting in our head, right? We have this idea of like the perfect partner, or like, oh, this is my dream house, or this is my dream job. So I would say, obviously desires are coming from different places, but like, let's make it tangible and say that we are manifesting something that's coming from the mind space, from the mental realm. Okay, we're getting this idea of something that we want. Okay, manifesting is, how do we bridge that gap between, I have this idea of something that I want and now it's sitting right in front of me, right? Like, it's in my reality. I can hold it. I can, or I can experience it, whether it's like a feeling. Basically, how do I make this real? How do I change it? Or how do I morph it and transform it and evolve it from the idea stage to the physical stage? So there just is so much advice out there on how to manifest, and these are the exact rules and this and that. And listen, people, I've read a lot of books, as I mentioned. I've done a lot of work when it comes to manifesting. And I've been really triggered over the past few years because I'm like, okay, I'm doing all this stuff and I'm just like not manifesting what I want. I'm a little confused. So honestly, studying my human design and really getting into the nitty gritty of how I manifest has been so incredibly beneficial for me, but also it has released so much pressure that I have held on to for so long when it comes to, okay, well, what do I want? And then how do I actually make that thing a reality? And I could give you a million different tips and tricks from this person, from that person, from my own knowledge. But something that I always come back to, because it works like a fucking charm, like it is, I mean, one day when I write a book, I mean, I'll probably write several books, but when I write a book all about like men and manifesting and desires and all the things, like there's one system that never fails me, and it's truly like the best system that you could ever start to utilize in your life, and it's detachment or surrender. I mean, I like the word detachment a little bit better. Surrender sometimes is hard for me and for other people to like grasp, like what actually does surrender mean, but it's true detachment. And I have firsthand witnessed so many things that I've wanted in my life, like just a desire that I had. And I'm not talking like, okay, my desire to be a life coach or like my deep desire to be with the partner of my dreams. I'm talking just like, oh, I have the desire to get like a free workout class, or I have the desire to get this. I have the desire to talk with that hot ass guy. Like, I don't know, just desires that pop up out of nowhere. And it is crazy how quickly these things come into my life. And I want to give you a few examples so that you're like, oh my gosh, wait, this is like actually really crazy. And so often when we talk about manifesting, it's like the vision board and like, you know, creating this whole new life for yourself where you're making millions of dollars and blah, blah, blah. And like all the big things, which is great. But I'm like, what if we first started to focus on manifesting all of the little tiny things that actually create this bigger picture for us? Because when we think about, you know, basically like raising our vibe, creating a new frequency for ourselves, it's like, okay, well, if I'm making X amount of money today, let's say I'm making $5,000 a month, okay? And if my goal is to make, I don't know, $50,000 a month, that's a huge jump, okay? It's, I would say, a little unrealistic for someone to think like, oh, I can just go from making $5,000 to $50,000. Have people done it? Yes. And people will explain this as quantum leaping. Listen, I've never made a leap like that. So like, I'll come back to you guys when that leap happens to me in my life. Is it possible? Yes. But is it something that I think everyone can tap into? No. Like, I really don't think that. So it's like, let's peel back the layers and let's simplify this system and let's start really focusing on the fun manifestations, you know, whether that's like a free movie ticket, a free, I don't know, $100 check in the mail. You connect with someone that gives you something, like, I don't know. So let me share a few examples. This one actually happened last week and I was so pumped about it. I was just like jazzed. I was so excited. I've told so many people. So let's go back to the last episode where I was talking about consistency. I do want to throw this in here. I am working on being consistent in so many areas in my life. And it's funny because there are things that I started doing last week that weren't even really like on my list of things to be consistent in. One being like posting on LinkedIn. I think one day I was just like, you know, I think I want to start, you know, posting on LinkedIn again. Because I've been navigating, you know, where I want to be putting my thoughts and my energy and how I want to be creating content. I love writing. I love talking. I love speaking. So any, you know, platform that allows me to do that, I prefer over like creating a piece of content like an Instagram or something. So one day I was like, I just want to start posting on LinkedIn more. And I've been really consistent with it. And because I'm being more consistent with it, like I'm actually looking forward to it every day. And I'm not taking this approach of like, let me look up the best LinkedIn content creators and follow their guidelines. And like, I'm always reminding myself, like, I truly am here to carve a path that is never been created before. That's what the man Jen is here to do. And I'm all about innovation. So like, why do I still try to follow these guidelines? Even though secretly deep down, I'm just like, F the guidelines. Like, I just want to do what I want to do. And maybe that's not going to, I don't want to say maybe that's not going to work. Maybe it's not going to land with some people or a certain audience, or maybe it'll take longer. I don't know, but I'm just like, listen, I want to do it my way. And that's really it. So I've been consistent on that. I've been consistent in my workouts, which has been feeling so good. I have not been consistent in what time I'm going to bed and waking up. And there are a lot of things that I am still working at, which again is part of the process, you know, moving from having that awareness to putting these things actually in action and moving the needle forward every day. So speaking of LinkedIn, I was scrolling on LinkedIn last week, just looking to see like, you know, whose post can I comment on, blah, blah, blah. And the president of Malk Organics posted this video of their like pumpkin spiced almond milk. I think it was like their big advertisement video for the season or something. And he said in the post, this is our last week of selling the milk. So I commented on it, and my comment was like, oh my gosh, I've been trying to get my hands on this for forever. Like, I can never get it, or something like that. And there was this little, I'm talking like little tiny voice in the back of my head that was like, wait, this would be so cool if I got this for free. And these thoughts will pop into my head all the time. Because listen, if I were to find this milk in store, I would buy it. Like, I would spend my money on this milk because I've been dying to try it. I tried to get it last year. I searched and searched and searched, and I cannot find it. So I genuinely was like, listen, I'm going to spend my money on this if I can find it. So I had that little tiny thought, right? I put that desire out into the universe, and I kid you not, within like maybe 2 hours, the president commented back and was like, well, let's change that. I'll get you one. And I was like, oh my God. Like, am I going to get a free pumpkin spice almond milk? Like, you guys, I was stoked. I was so excited. So he DMs me, and I'm like, wait, I'm like really cool. I'm talking to the president of Malk Organics. Like, this is the shit that gets me really excited about life. So I sent him my email, and then all of a sudden an email thread starts coming in with him and his EA, and they're talking back and forth about getting me some almond milk and asking for my address, blah, blah, blah. She's like, okay, expect a shipment to come out, like, or it should get to you by Friday night. You guys, I get this Instacart order. It's like 9 or 10 bottles of this almond milk in all different flavors. They actually were out of the pumpkin spiced almond milk in my area, so they sent all these other flavors. They sent the chocolate one, they sent the holiday flavor, they sent unsweetened vanilla, and I'm like, just because I commented on his post and I had this desire, and funny enough, I'm always linking it back to like a prior thought that I had. I was thinking a few weeks ago, I'm really working on my financial situation right now. And I was thinking, like, do I really need to be spending money on this clean nut milk that I love so very much? I mean, it is expensive and it does add up, but like, I just love it so much, and my coffee tastes so much better, and I just feel so much better because I go through a lot of it, and I'm like, I don't want to buy the one with nasty gums, but like, I'll consider it. I'm being better. I'm working at my situation. So I had this thought weeks ago, and it's just funny and synchronistic that this happens to me. And you may think like, Rebekah, like, this is what you're getting excited about, but like, really, like, I was so excited about that. The president reached out to me and just was so kind, and I was like, this is how you do marketing, first of all, and also this is how you utilize the power of manifestation. And the power of these, to someone else may be like, oh, it's so dumb, or it's so small or insignificant, or like, why don't you manifest something big? But I'm like, that's how you get to be able to almost like work up the actual belief in yourself that like, oh, I can manifest these big things. Like, there are things that I really want, but I'm like, I don't know if it's possible for me to say like, hey, can I manifest like a $10,000 client tomorrow? Like, I'm working on that for sure because I really want it, but I want to get to the point where I'm just like, I can make $50,000 tomorrow, and I just detach, and I know that it's possible. So let's wrap up the almond milk story. They're sending me a second shipment on Monday, which I'm so excited about, and they're going to be sending me the milk that I actually wanted. So that was just a funny story. Another story, a few years ago, I was working for this couple as their both EA and PA, and I'm trying to think, maybe over the span of like 2 or 3 months, I was buying the wife these Telfar bags. She ended up getting a few in a few different colors. And with these bags, like, they sell out super quickly, so you have to like get on right when they launch and the whole thing. And I think it was maybe like a month or two before, I'm buying all these bags for her, and I'm like, wait, these are really cute. Like, I would love one. I mean, they're like a few $100s. Like, I would spend my money on it, but like, I would rather not and just get it for free. So I had this thought, I had this desire. I'm like, oh, my birthday's coming up. Like, it would be so nice if so-and-so and so-and-so got me this bag for my birthday. I know that they deeply value and respect me, and I know how much they love me and just like how much I've done for them. So I'm like, I could genuinely see them gifting me this bag for my birthday. I put that desire out. I was just like, this would be really fun and really cool, and just, yeah, I put it out into the universe. Okay, so my birthday comes. I actually end up going, they take me to lunch, they take me to Perla's, and I'm trying to remember if they gave it to me before or after, but I was at their house and in walks the wife and it's a Telfar bag. And I'm like, of course I'm not saying like, oh my God, like I manifested this bag, blah, blah, blah. But I was just like, I knew it. Like I just knew that they were going to get me it. I mean, some could say, okay, that's just a stroke of luck. Other people could say like, holy fuck, that's like actually kind of crazy. But to me, I'm just like, that's how manifesting works. And it's funny because that birthday, I received so many gifts. I think someone gave me like, one of my friends gave me Luxe Unfiltered products. I was just talking about how I wanted to try their bronzers and their brush and blah, blah, blah. I'm just really good at manifesting specific things once it comes across my path and I know that I want that, if that makes sense. Like I didn't even know that these bags existed, but then they were in my orbit so much and I was like, wait, these are really cute. I would really love one. And I ended up getting one for my birthday. Like I could tell a million stories like that. And I know that I don't share these examples enough. Like sometimes I think like, oh, it's just me and it's just my life and like blah, blah, blah. But like I have done so much work on myself where things like this just become a normality for me. And I'm sharing it because like you can do it too. And again, like you have the power to manifest really, really big things, whether that's, a new job that is paying you 2 times more, or whether that's, manifesting the partner or the dream home or the car or the dream dress for a wedding that you're going to. Like, I don't even know, whatever it is, you do have the power. But I think just like playing this game and saying like, what can I conjure up today? And detaching from that. Okay, now I have to share this story because it literally might be my favorite manifestation story ever, just because it's so good. So a few years ago, I'm pretty sure the night before I'm leaving to go to Mexico for one of my best friend's bachelorette parties. I come across this dude on Instagram. He's a chiropractor. He is connected to some people that I'm connected to in Austin in the health and wellness industry. Like from what it looks like on his Instagram page, I'm like, wait, we just have similar interests and, common just like things that we share between us and friends and people that we're connected to. And I'm like, this dude is so hot. Like, he is so hot. I need to talk to him. I need to connect with him. I don't know how it's going to happen, but, like, I'm sure it'll happen at some point. Like, I'll run into him at Sun Life Organics or I'll see him out at this event or blah, blah, blah. I'm like, I'm sure it's going to happen. But I had this really strong desire. I'm like, I need to talk to him, and I really, really just want to be connected to him. But I don't know how that's going to happen. So I let it go. Okay, this is the night before I leave on this trip. I see his profile. I'm like goo goo gaga over this man for, 20 minutes. And then I'm like, okay, whatever. Then I forget about it. Next day, I'm at the airport. Okay, I'm doing my thing. It's the early morning, blah, blah, blah. I go to board my flight, Southwest. We're standing in line, the whole thing. I'm about to step foot on the plane, you guys. And I turn around for some reason. Guess who is right behind me? Not right behind me, like directly behind me, but there's a person, and then it's that man. And I'm just like, I could barely contain the way that I was feeling. I was like, no fucking way is this man right behind me boarding my flight to freaking Mexico right now. I'm sitting on the plane and I'm texting all my friends this story. I'm like, oh my God, you guys are not going to believe it, blah, blah, blah. And they're like, this is crazy. You have to talk to him, blah, blah, blah. I mean, how insane is that? Why did that happen? I had this strong desire. I had no opposing beliefs against this desire manifesting, and it literally happened overnight, and it's one of my favorite stories. And I see myself speaking on like really, really big stages and sharing the story to just like be the example of the true power of manifestation, because to have that happen to me literally overnight was just like, how? I mean, Austin's a big city. There are definitely bigger cities, but like, what are the odds that this man would be going to Mexico at the same time as me? Long story short, I did talk to him and I did approach him when we got to Mexico because my customs paper was all in Spanish, and I was like, I don't know Spanish. Can you help me out? And we kind of like exchanged a few laughs and DM'd, and nothing really came of it, but like, it's a fun, cool story. And I think people should know about it. So those are my manifestation stories. Now, what I want to share is the art of detachment. What do all these stories have in common? I was so detached from the how and the when this was going to happen. And it's just tough because there are a lot of opposing like thought systems, beliefs, whatever you want to call it, when it comes to manifestation. Some people are like, you just got to focus all of your energy on this and you got to be obsessed with it and blah, blah, blah. And then there are people that are like, detach, surrender, let go, never think about it again. I think there's got to be a healthy mix of, okay, we always want to be putting our focus and our energy and our intention on where we want to go, right? It's like the idea of, if you're broke and all you can do is focus on the lack of money, like, how do you expect to actually receive more money? Like, it's really tough to do. Or if you're so hyper focused on like, oh, I'm going to be forever alone and I'm single and all my friends are so happily married and woe is me and blah, 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 this is horrible. Like, it's just going to be so much harder to attract a really, really great partner. To me personally, things have come in the quickest and the easiest when I have this, I want to say, heart-led desire. Like this dude who I randomly found on Instagram. I'm like, listen, I don't know anything about him, but like, I have this desire, and for some reason I feel really pulled to him, and I would love to connect with him and talk to him, and who knows if anything's going to happen, because of this connection, but like, this is what I want. And I just was so detached. I didn't think about it again. Like, I actually completely forgot about it the next day until I saw him, and then was like, holy shit, whoa, this is wild. This is insane. So I think in the beginning, to have this focus, again, this focus around the intention and where you want the energy to go. But what happens if we become so obsessed with it and so focused is the polar opposite can happen, right? We can become so insanely obsessed with a thing, and then we're so attached to, well, when is it going to happen and how is it going to happen, and I'm going to try to figure this out, and then we start to micromanage, and then we control, and then we become hyper fixated, and then actually we're like just stretching ourselves further from actually receiving and manifesting that thing. So I think it's, for some people, they can handle that and they can just not get so caught up in the hows and the whys and the whens and the wheres and just become really obsessed with a thing. But I would say for most people, it's really, really hard to do. I mean, when I'm like, oh my God, I want this so, so badly. Yes, there's a part of me that's putting in the action and I'm putting in the work, and I'm like, look at me, universe. I'm putting in all of this intention and action and good energy and focus, but like, when is it coming? And how's it going to come? And blah, blah, blah. And I just become so like equally as obsessed with the desire as just all the question marks surrounding how and when and where I'm going to get it. So detachment is really tough, especially when we want something really, really badly. Trust me, I have just manifested so many things, especially when it comes to a partnership. Like, you guys, there are some days where I just feel like I want it so badly, where like my body is physically aching. Like I want it so badly, but I'm like, don't, like, you can let yourself feel whatever you need to feel, but don't get so caught up in that energy where you become obsessive and then you start doing things that actually aren't even really aligned. Like, I know for me personally, like, I've tried the apps 1,000,001 times, and yes, I hear success stories all the time from people, and I'm so happy for them, but like, I know genuinely that's not the way for me. But sometimes I'm like, okay, well, what if, and this and that, but it's like, I know I know I have this really strong inner knowing that that's not how it's going to happen. So, we start to stretch ourselves too thin because we're trying to take control of how that manifestation is going to appear in our reality. So really working on your detachment skills. I don't know if there is a right or wrong way to learn how to detach, but for me, it's like really just putting action into what I want to happen. Like, I know for me personally, at least, I get super anxious and I get really, really fearful when I'm not doing something that I know that I need to be doing. For instance, if I'm like putting off recording a podcast episode or getting up, like I'm launching my Substack this week and I've been like putting it off, and I'm like, okay, I know that I'm procrastinating and I know that that's why it's making me anxious, because like I know that I should be working on this. Or if it's like, when you're waiting until the end of the day to go get your workout in, and then it's like, okay, well now I have to create so much sheer will out of nowhere, and I'm so anxious because all I've been doing all day is thinking about getting my workout in. And do you get where I'm going with this? It's like, it just becomes so hard on us. And I think if we can continue to put our action into things, just put our action into places and into people and into things where we really want to see that thing manifest and grow, but not being so attached to when is it going to come here. And also having this idea and this belief system behind it of, you know what, if I don't get it, like I'm still going to be okay. And when I have this belief of true detachment, and I can adopt that belief system of, you know what, I'm good even if it doesn't come, like that's when it shows up so much quicker. Like, yes, it would be really, really nice to have these things, but like with the almond milk, I'm like, listen, I would have bought it anyways if I found it in the store. And I've manifested, free workout classes and free this and free that and free massages and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I would have paid for it. But the fact that I told myself, like, listen, if I don't get this, it's totally fine. And that's when the thing shows up. And I would say for pretty much anything, any new lifestyle choice or mindset shift, perspective shift in consciousness, whatever it is, it just takes a lot of trial and error, and you just trying it and doing it again and again and again and again and again. It's like when people talk about faking it till you make it, a lot of times it's going to feel like, well, this is really hard and like I don't actually feel this way. But going back to consistency, it's like the more that you can adopt this principle of being consistent in whatever area that is, and maybe it's working on being consistently detached and reminding yourself, oh, if I go out on a really, really great date with this man and oh my gosh, he's perfect and I'm obsessed with him and I'm looking up his sister and now I'm envisioning our wedding, and it's like just reminding yourself like, okay, even if this isn't the one, I'm gonna be okay and I'm gonna be detached. And when you have that energy about you, it's just like the universe just wants to throw things at you. Like, here, I'm gonna give you this and I'm gonna give you that. And a lot of times I have found the more intentional that I am with this and the more consistent that I am about this practice and the more that I keep it top of mind and I'm consciously thinking about my detachment and like, listen, I'm good. Like, I'm really good without it, but like this just would be so nice. I get things that I genuinely would want. Like, it's so crazy. I mean, the other month I was thinking, I really want a lymphatic drainage massage, but like I don't want to pay for it. And then the next day I saw this ad for this wellness event and they were giving out 10-minute free massages. Listen, it wasn't a full 60, 90-minute massage, but like I got to go and I got to get the thing that I wanted for free and it turned into something else. So detachment is easily the best practice and tool that I can share with you when it comes to manifesting, beyond, all of the other tips and tricks that you have all heard. Truly, you've all heard everything else basically from the manifestation gurus and all that. But I want to talk about this idea of opposing desires, because this is a newfound tool that has come to my attention through studying Kabbalah. And when I heard this concept, I'm like, oh my gosh. I mean, it goes hand in hand with the law of detachment and what I already believed and knew to be true about manifestation, but it really helped me just like create context around, okay, I've always had this inner knowing of this is how it works, but like this is the why. And I'm so glad that I now am able to share this concept with you all because it just makes so much sense to me. So when we are desiring something, let's say I'm desiring a new job. Okay, I hate my job. Ugh, I'm so bored. I don't feel like I'm growing anymore. I'm making X amount of money and I really want to be making more, blah, blah, blah. But this current job that you have allows you to, sleep in a little bit and you get to work remotely and you never have to go into the office and you have unlimited PTO, but you are still desiring a new job for some reason, okay? Having an opposing desire counteracts that original desire. Am I using that word right? Counteract? I think so. Sometimes I say words and I'm like, wait, is this actually what it means? Basically, it cancels it out. That's what I'm trying to say. So if I have this desire for a new job, but subconsciously, and remember, subconsciously, we're not consciously aware that we're thinking this, okay? But if we have these opposing desires deep, deep down inside, well, I actually don't want a new job because it's going to force me to maybe look like an amateur or look dumb or look stupid because I'm going to be new and I'm not going to know all this information. Oh, shoot, maybe I'm going to have to work in the office 3 days a week. I'm not going to be able to sleep in. I'm not going to get unlimited PTO. The list goes on and on and on. So when I heard about this concept of having opposing desires, and that's why our manifestations aren't happening as quickly as we want them to, I'm like, oh my gosh. I mean, so many areas of my life, I'm like, holy shit. It's like the floodgates are open and now all of a sudden I am just, the level of awareness that I have had in the past few weeks is astronomical because I'm like, oh, this is why I'm still single. Oh, this is why my skin is still breaking out. Oh, this is why X, Y, and Z. It is crazy. I mean, a good one is this idea or this desire of mine that I really want a boyfriend. And when I turned, how old am I? 29. I think it was on my 28th birthday. I spent the day pretty much alone. I did all my favorite things. I went to Thai food. I got a massage. I got a facial. I celebrated with my friends that weekend. But really, that was the first time, I think, in my adult life where I was like, I'm bored. Like, I'm really, really bored of doing life alone. And I really, really, truly believe that I am ready for a partner. And I want to say 2 years before that, or for the past 2 years before that birthday, I was telling people, I'm not really putting much effort into dating. I don't really do the online dating apps. So I'm ready and I would super be open to meeting someone if anything were to happen. Bitch, I was not. The universe was just literally laughing at me. You say that you want a boyfriend, but there are 1,000 other reasons as to why you actually don't want a boyfriend. I mean, of course, there were days where I felt so extremely lonely and I'm like, oh, I have this dream of it's Saturday morning and I'm at Zilker with my beautiful, amazing, perfect boyfriend and I'm eating a croissant and we're throwing the ball to the dog and just I have these visions of what I want. But at the same time, I was sitting in this energy of, one, I am not willing to compromise anything about my lifestyle. I was scared of giving up my independence. I'm like, oh my gosh, am I going to have to spend the night at someone's house and now I can't get up and do my morning rituals and now I'm going to be off for the rest of the day and what if I have all my supplements and I do all these things and am I going to be losing this and I'm not healed enough and oh my gosh, I'm going to have to face more of my shit because that's what happens when you're in a relationship. Every type of relationship is a mirror. But there were just 1,000 reasons as to why I actually didn't want a boyfriend. I'm like, listen, I get to do whatever I want whenever the fuck I want to do it. And this is so nice. But other times I'm like, oh, I really want a boyfriend and I'm really ready and I've done the work, blah, blah, blah. So I had such strong opposing desires. And now that I have that awareness, I'm like, okay, a lot of these things are valid, but I there are couples and there are people that I look to, and of course, Instagram only gives us, one side of the story. But I'm like, there are people that I really, really admire, and they're two independent people, and together they have this beautiful union, and they have basically everything that I would want in a partnership. So like, I know that what I wholeheartedly desire in a partner is actually possible. Like, I wouldn't want to be with a man who is not independent and didn't have his own passions and hobbies and didn't have his own rituals, to the point where it was like, hey, like, I want to take 30 minutes or an hour in the morning to myself to do my thing. Like, I know that everything that I value and desire in a partnership is possible, but I was holding on to these opposing beliefs and opposing desires for so long that the universe was just like at war with my original desire, which was to get a boyfriend and to have a partner in my life. So that's really hard to do. It does not matter how strong your desire is or how much you feel it and you envision it and if you want it. Like, at the end of the day, if you say that you want a new job but you have 1,000 other opposing desires, it's gonna be so much harder, and it's gonna take you so much longer for you to actually get a new job. I mean, I've had not so many, but a handful of clients come to me. These are clients that are happily married and their husbands support them, and they're coming to me and they're like, Rebekah, I feel so bad. Like, I'm trying to get a job and it's not working and I want to make money. And I'm like, girlfriend, what? First of all, like, let your husband be in his masculine and take care of you. Also, like, you don't want a job. Like, you don't want a conventional job. I know what you want. You want to follow your passion and your gifts and your skills and wherever you're a master, basically. I'm like, why are you sitting on Indeed all day? You don't want this. Like, your opposing desire is so clear to me, but I don't think you actually are consciously aware of that. And that's why no one's giving you a job. I mean, for years, and it still happens to this day. I'll be like, oh, I want something super stable and super lucrative and blah, blah, blah. And I'll apply to jobs and I'll put out feelers, and then it's crickets, and then nothing happens. And I'm like, I just like, it's really crazy when you are faced head on with these opposing desires, because once you have that awareness, then you're like, oh, I can do something about this. Like, now I have this awareness around my relationship status, and I got to work on deconditioning a lot of these belief systems, like I do love doing my own thing whenever I want, but I also know that what I truly, truly desire is to do life with someone. But I also know that I can do life with someone and I can still have days where I'm just doing my own thing and I'm not with this person. But we all can self-sabotage ourselves in different ways. I was telling the girls on my coaching call that I had last night about my skin. Like, my skin goes through so many phases where it's so clear and it's so great, and then it's purging and it's absolutely horrible. And I know what my skin reacts to. I know what foods I should not be eating just because my body doesn't like it. But there's a part of me that's like, I want to create a new system. I want to live in a world where I can eat this one thing and nothing is going to happen to me. And I don't think that part of me is ever going to die, to be honest, because that's what I'm driven by. I'm driven by innovation and evolution and transformation. And I'm like, I know that one day I'm going to be able to eat all these things and my body won't react and my skin won't react and I'm going to be okay. But time and time again, my system still proves to me like, Rebekah, like you knew what was going to happen. Like with my skin right now, I'm like, I knew that this was going to happen, but I really wanted to eat this. So, it's, how am I going to actually attain beautiful, clear skin forever if I have such strong opposing desires of like, well, fuck that. I just want to live in the moment and be happy and eat this. And that's not to say that I shouldn't, because like I can't be a drill sergeant and I can't be a robot. But it's like the people that I look to that have beautiful, glowing, clear skin. I mean, they are so regimented when it comes to their diet and they just don't stray away from that, which I think sometimes can be unhealthy in people. But Like they're so rooted and they're so grounded in what works for them. They're like, I'm not willing to feel like this or to experience this, which I agree with as well. But again, like those opposing desires creep up. But it's so beneficial to be so hyper aware and so honest with yourself in regards to these things, because that's the only way that we change. Like Kabbalah has also told me that if everything was just so easy and left and right, we were receiving the blessings and the miracles and the abundance, like there would be no point to all of this. Like we are here to overcome this darkness. We are here to overcome these opposing desires. And that's where the true growth comes from. Like you don't just get it from waking up in the morning and la-di-da, everything is perfect and amazing. But that's why, your friend is struggling to find a husband, even though, she's been on a million dates, or like everyone is struggling in different areas too. And I reminded myself of this last night, like, okay, for as long as I can remember, I've always dealt with skin issues, even back in the day when I was on the poison that is birth control, and it was masking all of my symptoms. At the time, I thought my skin was so bad, which it wasn't. But, I would break out here and there, and I was always, like, trying new things, and I was like, I need to get to the bottom of this. I need to solve this. I need to fix this. I believe that this is the product, that this is the book, that this is the food, blah, blah, blah. For as long as I can remember, I've always had that mindset towards it. Same thing with money, same thing with partnerships. I'm too much for these men. I'm too deep. I'm too spiritual. I'm too confident. I'm too this, blah, 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 blah. These people can't handle me, okay? I've held on to these opposing desires and opposing beliefs for so long. But people, just because I'm struggling in one thing, you may not be struggling in the same thing and have, a problem with your opposing desires. But I know for a lot of girls who look to me for inspiration, especially when it comes to their body image and their confidence and getting into the gym, like I know that they're struggling and they have these very strong, polarizing, opposing desires when it comes to their body. And I'm so grateful that I don't have to deal with that, but I am dealing with it in other ways. And again, going back to just perfectionism and knowing that this is just a part of the journey. And that is what really excites me, to have this awareness and to know, like, okay, I've got some clarity. I've got the answers. I don't have all the answers, and I don't know, again, how exactly this is going to transpire into something new. And, wouldn't it be nice if I could just wake up one day and be like, yep, I fixed my problem. I solved it. But to have that level of clarity is so eye-opening, because the only reason that I have this clarity and I have this awareness is because I chose to be honest with myself, and because I chose to be curious, and I chose to learn, and I chose to divulge in self and personal development. And like, I'm constantly striving and seeking to be better. And I put a lot of pressure on myself to do that. But I also know that with this need for growth and evolution and transformation comes like answers to problems that I've had forever. Like the awareness that I've received lately around some issues that I've dealt with for at least 10 years is insane to me. How just like, oh my gosh, I'm getting so many answers in this season of my life. This is wild. Okay, now what do I do with this awareness? Now I act. Now I do something about it. But it's not possible for me to change everything overnight. Like, this is going to take work. We're doing the deep work right now, so we're in the deep work, but it's going to take consistent action in order for things to really change in my outer reality, because we have to remember that everything first has to change internally. It has to start there, and then because of that, our external changes. So I'm going to give you all some homework after you listen to this episode. I want you to really open up this space with yourself to start looking at, okay, well, one, let's point out what are my desires right now. And now let's get into what are some of my opposing desires that I have towards this thing. And you might shock yourself, and it may be hard for you to really dig deep and for you to excavate some of these opposing desires, but I promise you they're there. Because as Kabbalah explains, like, if we didn't have any opposing desires, that thing would be right in front of us. And sometimes I'm like, okay, but really? But like, there's a part of me that's also like, okay, that makes sense. Like, if I had no opposing desires towards having a partner in my life, he would show up at my doorstep tomorrow. Like, he would just be there. So this is going to take, a lot of, what am I trying to say? You have to be honest with yourself. There's no other way around this, and it's scary, and it can be very frightening to face yourself. But think about what you can gain on the other side. Think about, like, okay, I've been stuck in this shitty job that I've hated for 5 years. Maybe on the other side of that, you manifest your dream job, or maybe you start your dream business and you make 5 times more and you have 5 times more. You just have so much more peace and stability and joy in your life, and you just have so much more time, and like, really focus on the outcome, because we can get stuck in like, oh my gosh, this is so hard and it's so uncomfortable and I don't like this and it's scary. Like, I love the darkness. I think that's why I need to get back on the schedule where I'm getting up when it's dark, because there's something about the darkness. I'm just so connected to myself in the darkness. You're faced with your own shit, which is what most people don't want to do. But if you're anything like me, I'm like, well, I'm not like most people, and I don't want to be like most people, and I don't want to live a life that's like most people. I don't want to live this boring ass conventional life where everyone's doing the same shit, making the same amount of money at the same jobs with the same friends, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, I'm here for something different. And in order to actually make a change, I need to meet myself with brutal fucking radical honesty as often as honestly I can tolerate. Again, there are seasons where astrologically, we are forced to kind of just like go there and get in these in the energy, basically. I'm stumbling now on my words. But I really want you to open up this conversation with yourself, because I think that you will really surprise yourself. And I also think that for a lot of us, you're going to be able to gain so much from this exercise. You're going to be able to get answers that you've been searching for years, and clarity. And like, this is what I'm always preaching to people, whether it's a friend, a client, a family member, whoever will fucking listen to me, basically. I'm like, you have all the answers inside of you. We are always met with people to help us and to guide us along our path. But at the end of the day, like, you are the only person living in your body. You are the only person that can truly tap into your intuition, and like, you know yourself better than anyone else. So if you can continue to meet yourself with wherever you're at and face yourself and be honest with yourself and say like, listen, I know that there are so many things that I want to work on, and there are so many things that I know that I'm capable of doing, but in order for me to get there, I have to sit with myself and be honest with myself. And you can do this in so many different ways. Maybe it just pops up out of nowhere. For me, it's like that. I know if I sit down and I'm like, okay, I'm going to do an hour of this, blah, blah, blah. It never really works like that. It's like when I'm in the middle of a workout, or I'm listening to a podcast that like sparks this inspiration in me, or I'm on a walk. Like, that's how it really comes to me. But then I also take the time to sit in that awareness. Like, okay, I had this pop up. Now I want to sit with it. Now I'm either going to talk out loud to myself. I'm going to voice note myself. I'm going to journal about it. I'm going to type on my computer. Like, I let myself really sit in that energy and sit in that awareness, so that I can then take that awareness and put it into action somewhere. So I am excited for all of you in this next phase of your journey. We're coming to the end of the year. Like, first of all, people who are like, oh, my new year starts on January 1. I'm like, no. I adopted this new mindset around my birthday. This past birthday, I'm like, wait, my birthday is my new year. Why am I following a calendar new year? That makes no sense. Also, it's in the dead of winter when you just feel dead inside. This doesn't really make any sense. The Virgo in me is like, yes, a fresh new calendar. This all makes sense. But it's like, no, I don't actually think that's how it works. So we have, I don't know, a little over 60 days before the new year. Like, not even like I want to start now, because like we never stopped, but I want to continue to work towards what I'm working towards. Like, there's no waiting for January 1st. There's no waiting for this specific date or time. It's like, just do it now. Like, also, if you think about it, all of the normal ass people that are like, I'm going to start on January 1st, you're going to be like 5 million steps ahead of them. Like, I just put myself back on a workout program. I'm like, I want January 1st to come and me feel so incredible. I want to feel better and look better than how I did at the end of my last program. Like, that's where I want to be with everything. I want my finances to get better. I want my relationships to get better. I want my, habits to get better. Like, I'm doing all this now. I want to wake up on January 1st and feel really, really good coming into this new year and not feel like dog shit, which is what a lot of people feel like. Oh, it's after the holidays and now I got to lose 30 pounds. I'm going to go on the paleo diet and I'm going to do this and I'm going to set all these work goals. I'm like, well, what if you just start now? What if you just have that awareness now and you sit in the honesty now and you allow yourself to be in this energy? So then in a week or two, you're like, okay, we're putting this stuff into action. And then the calendar New Year starts and then you're like, I'm good. Like, I'm rolling, I'm flowing. All of my intentions are out there. I'm coming into this new year feeling on top of the world. I'm feeling like, yeah, I actually can accomplish what I want to accomplish this year. Do you get where I'm getting at here? I just want you all to be in the same energy because I think it's really powerful. And I just don't like the idea. And to some people, it makes a lot of sense. Like, oh, we're just going to like let ourselves go. Or like the holidays are for like family time and no work and no stress. Like, okay, we still have to take care of ourselves and we still have to do the things that make us feel really, really good in order to create more good things for us to experience in our life. So just please I really don't want you to let yourself go in this season because I just think that that's so terrible for us physically, mentally, spiritually, emotionally. Not like you have to go balls to the walls, right now in these last 2 months, but like just be mindful and really start putting into action, the things in your life that you want to be working towards. That's all that I'm saying. So this is a lot longer than I thought it was going to be. I'm like, oh, I'm just going to talk for like 20 minutes about manifestation and blah, 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 and detachment, opposing desires. And here we are sitting at an hour because this is just what happens. But thank you all for being here, for your incredible insight in regards to my last episode. I so appreciate you listening to these episodes. If you found this to be helpful or insightful or enlightening, or you're like, oh, I never thought of it like this, please, please, please share this with someone that you think would benefit from listening to this episode. I'm going to leave all of my links down in the show notes, my website if you are interested in working together, my Instagram if you want to follow along. I'll leave my LinkedIn. Like I said, I am launching my Substack this week, and that's going to be real deep and real personal, but like, if you decide to follow along and read these posts, it's gonna make you go deep and be inquisitive and be insightful and all the things. And I'm also going to share a lot of other spiritual wisdom and practices like Kabbalah and human design and astrology and just all the things that I love, basically. So yes, it's going to be a lot of storytelling and a lot of me sharing my personal experiences, but also very informational and very knowledgeable at the same time. So I will leave all of that down below. I hope that you have an amazing rest of your week, and I will see you in the next episode.